Howdy, and welcome to the Roundtable for Red Dirt DnD. I'm Michael Cross.
I'm Konnor Shenold.
Johnny Payne.
Kiri Hester.
Brooke Bullock.
And Ash King.
And what a wonderful episodes we had for 83 through 86, although we did have to do them remotely, which was a little bit annoying, but...
Was a
said
challenge,
sorry. I
but we
said
faced
sorry. I blame the children.
We're glad you kept us safe.
yes, it is. It
Tiny
is the
little
children.
petri dishes.
Yes.
Well, they're all bigger than me, so they're not tiny, but...
Yeah, it's a dangerous world working in schools right now because
I even stay away from them, but somehow
To be fair,
they
you
breed
weren't the
them.
only one who had COVID.
Yeah.
I had it as well.
yeah.
I did
It
get
was-
mine from kids, though.
It was quite the rampage here in Oklahoma.
Yes, it was really bad, and the 2 weeks earlier, my wife had it, so it was difficult to say whether I was, although I tested negative, which I don't know how that happens, that I tested negative from my wife, but at least we're through it now. We're live in person, and excited to be here and able to talk about episodes 83 through 86 and all the changes that went on.
I'm so excited.
Oh, it's so good. So good. And the sound was good. You are a demigod of Foley.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We had so much fun with that. You know, right off the bat, the allowing me to make a boulette turn into a chihuahua.
I will say, when I listened to that, my absolute favorite sound from that entire episode was the sound of the dog being kicked back into the cave.
That sounds, well, you know, you've listened to it, friends, but that sounds worse than it was as it comes out of Kiri's mouth.
It was hilarious. And you're telling me you've never seen a dog kicked in a cartoon and laughed a little bit. I'm just saying. We're basically a cartoon, a deadly cartoon. That's all this is.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was-
the Chihuahua was fantastic.
It rarely happens for us as in this, because we take we take the show a little bit more seriously. That we actually got to roll for shenanigans. It was
Roll for
It
shenanigans.
was like Chihuahua. I was like, this will never pass. Yeah,
Listen,
Chihuahua. What-
I wanted them to be something small that couldn't hurt us, but was also cute so that you guys wouldn't accidentally hurt it. I didn't want it to be like a cockroach and they'd be like, cockroach smash, and then it's like
a boule again.
boule again.
Boule.
So I
Poppy
wanted
did tell the party several times, nobody heard it.
nobody kick that dog. It's
Yeah, I
It's
do
a
like.
cute dog.
I like with that episode, Konnor and Poppy working in tandem to just be like, no, we don't want to deal with this.
we don't.
If it was something small and innocent that wouldn't hurt anything, you could have just turned it into Mokrin.
Oh, no. You would have to
did.
have turned it into me, so the dice rolls.
Die rolls, right. Okay.
It's a 2 right there. Natural 2, ladies and gentlemen. Like, good job.
Yeah, bless your heart. You had a hard
joke.
go of it.
yeah. So we had some questions from
We did, from patron.
Yeah. So ask us these questions.
So,
Bridgekeeper and I will.
there we go. Nightmare Patron had 2 questions, and one of them is, what is your favorite episode up to this point, at this moment? Favorite episode. I, of course, took a page out of Plausible Deniability and made myself like a top 4. So
Go for it. You did more work than I did.
Oh yeah.
I my number 4, or at least one of my top 3 anyway, is an old school, like episode 7, Unexpected Guest, and Hiss Comfortingly. That will always be one of those first moments, I'm strangely comforted by
Somehow
that.
comforted by that hiss.
Connor, I'm still waiting for that sticker.
Oh, yeah,
That's-
I'm working on it. Sorry.
That episode, is a big moment because it's kind of when we first realize some things about Wiley. So that's one of mine.
What do you mean Ash is going to have a reoccurring villain?
I know. Especially the one that we just now met in the jail.
Yeah.
What's next?
So, I don't know the episode names or numbers so much, but the
I don't either, it's
episode, and they're kind of close to I'll throw 3 at you. The episode where we were getting ready to go down and save the Yotes from...
Yes.
Kiri's wearing her skin as a cape right now. What was her name?
Aldonza.
Mighty
The mighty
Aldonza.
Aldonza.
I like that for the moments that there were a lot of like good character to character moments.
There were.
And that my favorite is always the stuff that involves the players at the table.
Right.
the other one is leaving the Temple of Nightmare. And that one ended, especially, it's become one of my memorable Zonimus Gideon memories when they're standing there, and it's like, there she is, crumbling that mountain.
It's a core memory.
Yes. And then, those two were pretty good stuff. Every recent episode that we've done.
They have gotten better. It's amazing how much better they've gotten. Konnor, do you have?
So I don't have one specific per se, but I would say like the series of episodes where we were in the Mesa, those are actually my favorites. We had like a lot of just good role-playing scenes through that from like all of us, but then also like from the beginning of when we first enter into like the very end, it's just such a nice little like arc in and of itself of just story. And then you get to see Konnor actually being a little bit more useful.
He's great.
Yeah.
It's a good set.
So, and then obviously you have the very unfortunate demise of Gideon at the very end of it, which just like really hurts a lot. And those are just my favorite episodes, just because it had its own little series of arcs while we were just in there, just role-playing.
Yeah, I think my favorite is, I think, 70, without a doubt.
Right.
Because
Right.
I have never gotten a death scene in all the theater stuff I've done since I was a kid. And I finally got a death scene. It was wonderful and it was beautiful and I loved it. And I loved all the emotion that was going on here. But I also loved episode 25, Home on the Range, where we ended up all playing poker at the end of it.
And I kicked your butts.
Yeah, it was, and you could feel it. It's like it's not often that you get this moment when I'm putting together the sound and the audio that I can get the image of the camera pulling back. You could still hear the voices from inside the house, but a camera pulling back from the house as this game is being played and. It was a wonderful moment to end that series of episodes. We don't always get to end on a really happy note, and so it was really exciting to have that. And then finally, the series of episodes where Gideon got to meet his mom.
Yeah,
were just absolutely beautiful. And anytime those were all, as far as an actor, as far as a player, those were my favorite episodes. Any one where I can really have fun messing with Foley, with any kind of sound effects, like the Chihuahua sound.
Glad I could help.
The in the Mesa, where Poppy she screamed and turned into the bird.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
again,
right.
Another one of mine. While you were saying it, I was thinking, I'm going to love putting the sound in, and it worked too. That just primal female scream and
Not
turning
to
into a
toot
bird.
my own horn, but toot toot.
Yeah, it was amazing. So anytime I can kind of play with sound effects, those are always my favorites. So definitely the Chihuahua and the Poppy Bird were two of my favorites. So.
I don't really, similar to Johnny, I don't really have, I think, a favorite episode. I have a lot of favorite moments from a lot of different things. I really liked the Anarchy series of episodes just because that's literally, remember I've only been playing D&D for about 3 years. That was literally the first time I've ever had a backstory be important or really even mentioned outside of just like my regular Saturday night group. I am a blacksmith and so that comes up every now and then. But to have to give Ash kind of the idea of a backstory and then Ash says, "Ha! That's what you know." And it was
but blended it, didn't change it, just blended it.
And it was like you when you read a book for the first time or you watch a movie for the first time, it makes me think of specifically Prisoner of Azkaban. When I read it for the first time and then you get into that chapter where you find out that Sirius is Harry's godfather and that Lupin is a werewolf and you have 7 plot twists in 3 paragraphs, and when you're 10 you're like, what? This is a lot. That I really liked those episodes. It really Ash I think, and I don't know, I assume Ash does everything on purpose. But I think that Ash really saw me. I didn't realize that I was struggling on connecting with Poppy so much, but I think that they saw that. And so they pushed me into this direction where I had to really think, what would Poppy do in the situation, not what does Kiri want Poppy to do.
Right.
So those series of
That's
episodes
true.
were really great because they made me grow as a D&D player. And then some of my favorite moments are a lot of the very quiet Poppy Zonimus moments. So I think the morning after he wakes up from his vision quest with Coyote, they have a quiet moment. And I've talked about it before, and we may see it come up in kind of future episodes, but there was a big turning point, and had like one thing been different in that interaction, everything would have changed. And it's one of those things that I think Johnny and I felt in that moment, and we knew we could kind of go one way or the other. And I don't know if anybody else at the table felt that in that moment, but there was a thing.
100%.
It was a very
100%.
important thing. Just because we were talking about it the other day, commuting with Wildfire for the first time, I love that song. I've mentioned it all the time, but Jeffrey McBride is my new Santa Claus because he gives me this song, and it's my morning alarm in the morning, and I love it, and it's amazing.
We keep bringing it back every time Poppy does
It's
that kind
such
of
a
thing.
wonderful, gentle, heartwarming way to wake up. I'm just saying, it's much more fun than meh, meh, meh.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of it. I think those, and then the moment kind of after the fact. So in hindsight, the moment where Poppy talks to Serafina, and then Kiri and Ash had a realization that Poppy doesn't feel super comfortable in human skin. And what does that say about how she feels about the role that's been thrusted upon her? My favorite thing about this whole podcast is how many people genuinely just really like Poppy. Because I like her.
We do too.
So when we have fans like Brooke's friend who's like, listen, Poppy's actually the Captain America of this whole group, I'm like, yes, she is. She's great. I like her too. And so many things happen that, you know, I will sometimes do as a joke, or I'll just kind of mention offhand, and then it becomes a thing, and I'm like, you're reading way more into this than I am, and honestly, that pleases me.
Yes. Very quickly, because we're actually running out of time. Brooke, you had a couple more that you wanted to mention?
The other one, the other question, patron question.
the
that we
other-
had-
the other
other
episodes?
episode. Yeah, no. All three of mine tend to be like arc connected, and the other one that I really love is the Vision Quest moment whenever Zonimus and Coyote go back in the past, or Coyote takes them back, because that also sets up so much of what we're doing now. Like if that hadn't happened, we would have
There's Iopics.
Yeah. It's Iopics.
Yeah.
It's the Key Guardians, and of course Ash would have probably brought that out a different way. Maybe when we're at the wreck of the skyboat, maybe one of us gets a vision then. But it was just a fantastic moment.
Yeah.
You blend it together with
It's likely
story
that
arc.
we wouldn't have known about that until, because I feel
Yeah.
like we would have ended up at the Valley of the Ghost Elves anyway, so that might have been.
That might have been when we see their
Iopics.
history. And
So
that's possible.
I do want to get to Ash, though.
100%.
Your favorite episodes.
You're asking me to pick my favorite child.
But did you
a real
have a
Sophie's
favorite
choice,
moment that
isn't
turned out differently or better than you had originally thought of in your mind when you added in the actors?
And I always say, if picking your best child is hard, tell me which one you hate the most. Effortless.
Which one do you like the least?
That's harsh.
I mean, no, I actually have the same exact problem when like people are ask me for like what's my favorite like D&D module. It's like I don't have a favorite D&D module, but I have a top 5 ones that I would not run again.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's one of those things that it's like almost, it's like every single moment that I've presented to you guys, 9 times out of 10, you have reacted in a complete opposite way of the way that I thought you would. So it happens, that happens constantly.
Awesome.
Great. Yeah. You're welcome.
Glad we could continue to be
Yes.
unpredictable.
Although thinking about it, I actually have to kind of agree with Mock or with Brooke and Johnny in the sense that the Vision Quest episodes actually, like, and specifically because, just like Brooke said, they took the story off into a completely different, it helped take the story off in a completely different avenue and helped really tie into the plot that I wanted, I wanted you guys to eventually get on.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this really helped solidify that in a way that previous efforts, such as, look at the journal.
Hey, there's a journal we got.
Steam and whistles. I got something in my backpack.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like with that, and then with, you getting to put together, plot point A and plot point B of, wait a second, I just had a vision quest that goes along with this thing that was in the journal. What do you mean it's all interconnected?
Real?
What? The
So-
world builder likes the world building
Yeah.
episodes.
The other question we have is about our changes to our characters. However, we're not going to answer that till the
Dun dun dun.
other part of this. For those people who are patrons, they will get to listen to the rest of this. For the rest of you, all you're going to hear right now is the fact that we're going to give away 5 digital copies of Luke Atkinson's Blood Oath to 5 different patron members right now. Now, that doesn't mean you can't become a patron member right now, but it won't be in this drawing. But if
You don't get
more
the
stuff
cool
later.
prize.
if you become a patron member, then you'll get to listen to the rest of this episode. But first, we
And
do
hey-
want to make some rolls.
We'll do some giveaways in the future, so become a patron
Yeah.
now so
Yeah.
you can get in on the
bet.
next one.
We have future giveaways. We have 25, but we have removed ourselves and close family members just to make it fair. So we're not actually giving away to them. So we have 22, and Johnny has a D22 on his computer.
Believe it or not. You can believe it.
How come you haven't
Or
been
not.
using this before?
Idea. So Johnny,
I always roll D22s.
roll for us. Roll for us the first name.
All right. First one is going to be 12.
12. That will be New Mexico.
I know that guy.
Yes. Actually, now he's a Texan, though.
I was going to say, does
Yeah,
he
there
live in
we go.
Texas
Woo.
now?
We don't know where he lives.
That's right. He's
Somewhere in the
Nickname
world.
of
Talk
his.
about a guy who's got teleportation.
He's on the
circled
witness
down.
protection
Right.
program.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right, here we go. It is 20.
Nice.
Number 20 is Carla Stevenson.
Woo! One of the originals.
Yes.
Yay!
Going all the way back to the beginning. Okay.
Next is Anticipation. It is 22. It is a crit.
Derek.
Yay!
Derek Resnick. Who you can see on Secrets of Monster Island
Yes.
on our YouTube page. Make sure to go check that out. Everybody out there who's listening to this, go check out Secrets of Monster Island. Aiden Cross is our DM, and he is fantastic, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. So go search Red Dirt DnD on YouTube, and watch Secrets of Monster Island with Derek Resnick. Who else we got?
We've got a repeat die roll. 2.
2, James Carpenter.
Yay!
One of our newer ones.
James is fairly new.
Yes.
Congratulations, man.
That's fantastic. All right.
And for the last one, it is 9.
Number 9, John DeFelice.
Yay!
All right. So we have New Mexico, Carla Stevenson, Derek Rusnick, James Carpenter, John DeFelice. You will be getting your copies of Blood Oath and by Luke Atkinson. And let me tell you, go check out this book. For everyone else out there, check out Luke Atkinson. It's kind of like Red Dirt DnD-esque, or it's fantasy, but it is the Wild West, and it is a lot of fun. So check out this book.
I actually had my Saturday night DM was telling me the other day he wanted to do like a Weird West style Witcher, and he was listening to my podcast. He's like, "How do you guys know?" And I was like, "We know our listeners. We know
There
our."
you go. And that's how Blood Oath is promoted as
That's
The
right.
Witcher in the Wild West.
Yeah, yeah. It's what we wanted from the very beginning. We knew we wanted to mix Wild West. We wanted to pull it away from the European-esque style of Dungeons and Dragons and do it in the Wild West. And Weird West right now, I think, is making a comeback. So, we're very
seeing
excited.
we're supposed to say we're seeing a comeback on certain platforms of the Weird West genre. So it's one that there's a lot of legs.
Yeah.
We're trendsetters.
So we're going to answer the question about what changes we have seen the most in our characters on the flip side of this. So become a patron right now. Patreon. facebook.com/reddirtdnd.